Alright, Weebill S Gimbal Q&A. Today we're gonna take a look at some of the questions that just keeps popping up again and again. And some of them is, what HDMI do I need for the transmission system? What camera can I fit on the Weebill S? What gimbal grip is this? And so on and so on. So let's take a look at some of the most common questions and answer them right here. So let's dive into this video and see what we got. Here we go. So first off, before we start, I want to say thank you to all of you guys who subscribe to this channel. It is so appreciated and I love the interaction with you guys in the comment section. Alright, so the first question is, which has come up a lot, is what HDMI cable do I need for the transmission system? And yes, let me see, you need an HDMI mini to HDMI full if your camera has a full HDMI port. But on the other side, you need an HDMI mini, which goes into either the receiver, which is this one. The receiver has one port, there we go, and the transmitter, which goes onto the Weebill S, has two ports, a HDMI mini port, and then it has a camera control port. So when you're ordering this system, remember to get an HDMI mini, and in the other end, you have to have either a micro or full, which whatever goes into your camera. That's what I want to say. So that is the cable, and I will link the IBIS cable down below in the description. That leads me to the next question, which is, what HDMI cable do I need for my small HD? So I got the small HD here, and that's the monitor that I use. So if you want to use this on your gimbal or to transmit the signal, I use the converter cable which comes with the small HD, and that is this one, which has a female port, full HDMI. So what I do is that I take the HDMI from IBIS and put these two together, and then I got this small HDMI and plug that into the receiver, and you're good to go. So this is how I hook it up to this monitor. I can't show you it today because the receiver is broken and I'm waiting on a new one, and as soon as that arrives, I will make a whole topic on how to set this up, how to use the transceiver and the receiver together, what are the options, how good it is, does it work, all that stuff. We'll get into that in another video. Then there's one more receiver question, that is, can I use the transceiver with the Weeble Lab or any other gimbal? And yes, you can. The receiver and transmitter system is a standalone product, so you can use it with any gimbal. And specifically for the Weeble Lab, yes, you can use it, but they are kind of heavy even though they are small, so you're adding a lot of weight to the Weeble Lab, and it is not as powerful as the Weebill S. So it's not ideal, but if you can fit it under, yes, you can use it, of course you can. So this one is actually pretty good. What do I do when the base plate gets stuck? And it is not stuck. Let me show you. The problem is that if you tighten this base plate very firmly and you then open it to slide it on and off or to take it off, when you open it, it still stays where it is. And sometimes it is pretty hard to get it open. And people have said, oh, do I have to use force to get it up? No, you don't have to use force. All you gotta do is open it and then press from down here and up until it says click, and it is loose. So it's because the little spring doesn't have enough power to make it pop up. So if you have tightened it really firmly, this happens. So just open, pop it up, and you can slide this one forward and backward or take it off. Pretty simple, right? So great question. Next question here. Yes, this one is good. How do I get my gimbal out of sleep mode without turning it off? Let me show you right here. It's a good question actually. So if you want to put it into sleep mode, all you gotta do, press once to get it in POV mode, and then press and hold for about 1 second, and it goes into sleep mode. There you go. You can feel the gimbal vibrating a bit before it goes into sleep mode. So now you see it's just sleeping. Want to get it back out, all you gotta do, press and hold for about 1 second, and it is back out in pan follow mode, and it's ready to use. Pretty simple, but a great question. Then the next question. Yeah, what is the grip you have on the side of your gimbal? I have linked it in all the descriptions in the other videos, but the grip here is the gimbal grip from Gimbal Gear, which is an amazing grip because it gives me dual handle grip when I'm controlling the gimbal, and I think it's a better solution than design, even though it's a bit more expensive, because you got a lot of mounting points. If you want to put on a mic or a monitor or anything else, you can put it on here, and it's a bit closer to the gimbal, so I can actually reach the wheel here for the follow focus with my thumb. So yes, I think it's a better solution than the one Zhiyun has, and I think it's about 40 bucks on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description as well. What we got? Yes, the quick setup kit. And one question has come a couple of times. Do I need two, or can I just buy one? Do they come in pair? And yes, you have to buy two of these quick release plates, which are here. It's called the quick setup kit from Zhiyun, and it's these small guys, and you have to buy two. They do not come in pair. So if you want to be able to switch from the high mode to the low mode, you have to buy two of these guys. And one thing to note, the quick setup things, I just call them quick release plates from Zhiyun. They are not the same for the Weeble S and the Weeble Lab as for the Crane 3 Lab. The ones on the Crane 3 Lab are much bigger. If you can see it, these are the ones from the Crane 3 Lab. So they are much bigger. So when you purchase your quick setup kit, make sure you get the right one. I'll link the ones for the Weeble S in the description down below. So what else do we got? Yes, this one I get along. Can my camera fit on the Weeble S? And I don't have all cameras, but I can say one thing. The easiest thing to do is to take your camera, go down to your local dealer shop, test it on the Weeble S before you buy it. But I can say one thing, I got the GH5 and got the S1H right down there, and the GH5 fits on there with no problem with the big lens. And the S1H also fits on there, but it will hit the back arm right here, the back axis. So it really can't go into underslung mode, and I cannot balance it probably because it's so heavy. But it can handle it. Even though it's not balanced, I can turn it on and it works very well in the normal mode. I can shoot with it if I want to with no problems. So the motors can handle it, but it's a little bit too big for this camera. So if you have a camera that is about the size of an S1H, you will have a problem height-wise, but torque-wise or power-wise, the Weeble S can handle it with no problem. So the last question is, should I turn the IBIS off? And my simple question is yes. I always turn off the IBIS in body stabilization in the camera when I'm using a gimbal, because I don't want any electronic stabilization interfering with the gimbal stabilization, because that kind of sometimes just get that wobbly effect, especially on the wider lenses. But some also say they like to use the IBIS because it takes some of that small jittery away. So it's kind of a preference thing, but in my case I like to take it off, because then I know it's only the gimbal that does the work. The camera doesn't interfere with the electronic stabilization of the gimbal. So test it out, see what you like the best. But my advice, turn it off. Yes, if you want to see how to get better gimbal shots or how you set this gimbal up, you can go back and watch some of those videos. I will link them right here. That is it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys back here next time. See ya.
'cause we both deserve it all.